What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Thank you for tuning in, Atlanta DJ Zone Tech Tuesday Live. I haven't did this in a while. I haven't had time because my work schedule. So I had time to do something today, and I just want to go ahead and get this out the air. And I can't even see that because I don't have my glasses. And even though the screens are big, they're still too far. All right, let me just bring the comments up on screen, or let's see, make it full screen. And I don't even know if I can do that with this version. All right, let's change. Let's do a zoom. Where's my zoom? Oh, great. Zoom is not set up, and my overhead is showing demo mode. So I'm gonna have to take a few seconds, few minutes in a little while and get that taken care of. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, this episode is one that's long overdue. Long overdue because I've been talking about this for a long while, very, 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 very long while, and I have been using this even longer. So today I'm going to share my tips and the reason why I like. I'm just gonna hold one in the box. Why I like using this style MacBook Pro. This right here is the box for a 15-inch, which I do have one in here. And this is not any of the new ones. As you can see, it's pretty thick. This is the old Pre-Retina version. And the way you can tell if it's Pre-Retina is that on the right-hand side, if you have it facing you, screen opening on the right-hand side, which this is my right hand, that you have the optical drive, or I think they call it the super drive, which is the DVD drive on that side, which makes it a lot thicker and more weight than most. So now let me mute out for a second. And I'm gonna see if I can try to get these lights on over me. And also, I think my glasses are coming. Did you find them? Okay. And I may need to go look for my glasses. Trying to remember where I last had them. So I'm gonna take just a few minutes, try to find my glasses so I can see what's on screen because I can't see the screen. All right, thank you. But anyway, the show will be starting in a minute, so stay tuned. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully, well, you can't hear me. Test, test, test. Okay. Let me know if you can hear me. Oh shit, I put that fan in the wrong place. Okay, shit, test, test. Okay, you should be able to hear me. I'm not using the mic through OBS. I'm only using OBS for video. I gotta reposition my fan because it is interfering with my screen. Hopefully this fan will stay in place. All right, y'all let me know if the fans are too loud. Kind of humid down here. I got the dehumidifier running 24/7. Interesting tip. Dehumidified water makes great aquarium water. So if you have an aquarium, you have a dehumidifier, and if your aquarium is like mine's, the water evaporates over time with the filters and stuff running. I mean, if I just run the underwater filter, it may not so much, but I have like a cascading or waterfall filter, and it has it to it evaporates, so I have to constantly fill it up. So I use the water from the dehumidifier. I mean, why not? I mean, I test it. I use test strips and test it, and it's safe to use in an aquarium. So right now, my oldest, he has an aquarium in his room. We're filling up his tank with water. So that's where the water that I'm collecting right now is going. All right, what's going on, Eric? Can you hear me? All right, I'm posting. Got a Pre-Retina MacBook Pro, but it won't. Yeah, I have your MacBook Pro, and like I said, from what I found, it's the logic board. I don't know if you want to put money into a logic board with the amount of getting a new logic board. You can probably get a whole brand new Mac. So let me get. I guess next now I need to get my lights. So it's probably gonna get a little bit hotter in here than what it is now, but I want to make sure I'm well lit. All right, and let me switch this camera. All right, had to take it out of demo mode. Okay, so nope, that one. All right, I had everything set, and I guess the power turned off. So I guess I'm just going to use one of the I just use one of the all right. That ain't right. That's supposed to be Zoom. I think the pH is 7, and then there's some other. The strips have about 4 or 5 different pads on it. It tests the pH, the acidity, and some other stuff. All right, I was answering your question there. All right. All right. I guess we can get started. Of course, I had to work today, so I didn't have a whole lot of time that I would usually have in order to prep up for this. And I probably should have did it last week, but I didn't get an opportunity to do that either. So now everything that I'm about to go off is going to be basically I didn't need this here. So everything is going to be based off what I had in the post as for how I'm going to start it off. So now I need to just pull that up so I can see exactly what I typed. All right. Guess we're ready to start. 5, 4, 3, 2. Five, four, three, two, one. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Atlanta DJ Zone Tech Tuesday Live. You're here with the kid, aka Kenyon Ellis. This is the podcast I created a few years ago, basically sharing tech stuff and other DJ audio related business. Whatever I feel that I need to share that you may need, come to this channel. This is where you'll find it. You also find some exclusive stuff that you won't be able to find anywhere else, or anybody that has knowledge or uses or know about it. So, all right, tonight's topic is going to be on something that I have recommended for like years, ever since my first one, which is this one right here. This is my first MacBook Pro. It has a Scratch Live skin on it. I have an extra one if anybody wants to buy it. It only fits 13. It's a 2009 MacBook Pro. Not going to really get into this one that much, but since I was able to put my hands on it real quick, I went ahead and grabbed it and brought it down here. But the ones that I'm going to talk about is probably the next generation, the next years, and up to about early 2012, because after mid 2012, the MacBooks started to change. They started to change into something different. So I have a couple MacBooks here. I have some knowledge I'm going to share. I'm gonna pull up some photos. Everything is going to be on the fly. Like I said, I didn't have time to prepare any of this. Busy week, busy schedule. So this podcast may be long, but I'm going to try to make it short because I know what I want to share with you. So that's not going to be hard. And then I have an outline put together. If I can, I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put together a banner real quick, and then with that banner, then I can follow that as a guideline to staying on topic. So give me just a moment to create it real quick. Only gonna take a second because I'm gonna copy stuff that I already have in place. And this, like I said, this usually keeps me on topic. Probably not as much for time, but I'm gonna try to keep track of the time too, as for um, not going as long as I don't need to. Because, like I say, the average that I usually do with this is probably about minimum most times, without even keeping track of the time, is like 3 hours. So I'm gonna try to keep it short and brief. So if you're rewatching this, then okay, now I'm adding one on the fly, and all right, I need to do one more, but I need to move it up. All right, so where did I move that one? Okay. So right now I'm gonna do a little brief. I'm gonna do a little brief commercial little brief advertisement, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. But as I always do before I start anything, I have a full thing of water, and hopefully this will be gone before the end of this show. All right, so there we go. Water's gone. All right, so now, and I didn't mean to do that. Let's get started. Now, first thing I want to talk about, and this is a brief advertisement or commercial as per se. This is basically something of mine. So there's nobody paying me, or I'm not getting any sponsorships or anything for this. This is an event that I usually have. I would like to invite everybody out July 16th to the Pandemic Games and Entertainment Premier Live event. Now, this is held on Facebook. For more information, contact me, hit me up in the comments, and ask how can I attend the PLE in the Pandemic Games and Entertainment Group. Now, this is what the Pandemic Games and Entertainment Group is. It's a group on Facebook. In that group on Facebook, imagine this, if you will. Imagine a Zoom party, but you have actual games. So what I did, I incorporated Facebook or Meta's Rooms feature to allow DJs to do their live stream, me, DJ Eric Prince, and a lot of other DJs to do their live streams, to where it can be played on Facebook without any interruptions. No muting, no deleting, none of that stuff. And it's, as far as I know, is legal. There have been any backlash or anything on it. As a matter of fact, I'm the only one that using it. So I invite you out on the 16th, which is the next event, July 16th. It'll be the second event for this month. And it takes place from 6 to midnight, from 6 p.m. on that Saturday to midnight. We'll have games. We have a lot of entertainment. We have DJs playing music, people playing games, just a whole bunch of fun. And I invite everybody to come and check it out. Now, here is the link. The link that you need to go to, and I probably should have did this as a banner. Let me add it as a quick banner real quick. All right, so here's the link right here. And I probably should have never did it as a scrolling. Let me take it out as a scrolling. Where is it? Oh, no. Let's take it off as a scrolling and just do it as a regular. All right, so here is the group right here. Facebook.com/groups/ and that's an L, PLE 2021, which is the year that I started this, followed by the letter B. Now, if you put everything in except for that letter B, you will reach a similar site, which is the old group that I created. The only reason I created a new group because we lost the rooms feature. The feature for the rooms, which was the game and the live streaming, which is basically the main purpose of the group, I could no longer use it. It took a while, but they opened it back up. I was able to get access, but by that time I had already created a new group. So I'm like, okay, we'll just stay with the new group. There's no way I can just like delete the group and it completely gone. Everybody would have to leave the group, and then I can get rid of the group. So it's a group that's not even used. So make sure when you do PLE 2021 that you put the letter B in. And like I say, we got games. There's probably about somewhere between 8 to 12 games that we can play. The two most popular games is Quiz Planet and Poker Lounge Live. So usually I have a room open for that. Now, there's only you can only allow 50 people per room. So 49 people plus myself. All the DJs that are playing are streamed through me. So you will see them in every room that I create. So once one room is filled, I would create another room. And when I create that other room, guess what? The music is there too. No matter how many rooms I create, how many games that I open, the entertainment is always there. So it's like a party room, a building that has different rooms with different parties, but the DJ is playing to every room, or the music is being played to every room. It's something great. It's something that you need to check out. So make sure that you're there. Pandemic Games and Entertainment Premier Live Event. They're called PLEs. And wait a minute, that is wrong. The link is wrong. It's not PLE. Sorry about that. It's PGE. I'm so familiar with saying. And Eric, why you didn't catch that, man? Why you didn't? Why you didn't tell me about that? Okay, so PGE 2021 is what you're looking for. And when you find that, you'll find me, Eric Prince, Carlton 007, Turntable Tide. It's in the books. DJ Easy C, a whole bunch of other DJs that either send me mixes or that streams live to the platform. So make sure that you are there to check that out. Now, enough of that. We are done. It's time to get started. All right, so now, like I say, starting with the intro, what I'm going to be talking about today is why I prefer using these MacBook Pros as much as getting a new MacBook Pro. Now, a lot of the things I'm going to be sharing, hardware, software, how to do your upgrades, what upgrades that you can do, operating systems, optimizing techniques, where to find those optimizing techniques, especially if you're using Serato, and a lot more. So basically, I'm gonna be spilling my guts with tons of information just about these right here, these MacBook. Now, if you're using the Retinas, this right here may want you to consider getting one as a backup, because there's upgrades that you could do to this that you can't do with anything that's newer than mid 2012 and up and newer. So like I say, I'm gonna be sharing with you everything that I know about these, especially advantages and disadvantages. All right, so let's get into the hardware. Now, with these, the hardware on most of them, and let me go ahead and put this out. This is the hardware that you need when you're looking for one of these. You want to make sure that you get my knees are hitting the table. The knees are hitting the table. The front camera is on. Lower your chair. Nope, my knees are not hitting. Nope, my knees are not hitting the table. All right, hold on. Let me show you. See, my knees are right here. I mean, I got a lot of room, so I'm good. I'm good. I shouldn't be too high. No, I shouldn't be too high. Everything should be good. All right. Turn the comments back on so I can so I can see. I think I can do a full screen and the comments will show. I'm just gonna all right. As I was saying, what I recommend, and this is my personal recommendation as for specs when you're looking for these, and it's not that much that you need to that you need to look for. Now, most of them that you find, I can find a MacBook Pro between 150 to maybe 500 in this year. But when you're looking for one, the thing that you want to find something that's the highest processor that you could possibly get, which for this one is the i7, the Intel i7. Now you can find a lot of them that are cheaper that are like i5s. i5s is like the oh, that's the fan. I got two fans. I got two fans going on, and they're blowing the screen behind me. So there's some stuff that's up high on the wall that's causing. If you're talking about the little white spots, that's right up there, right here. So that's the reason that my screen is moving, because I got the fans going on behind me. I mean, in front of me. So i7 i7 processor is what you want to look for. If you get an i5, make sure that your RAM is maxed out. But I would prefer getting i7 processor, and then as for your RAM or your memory, you can go with 16 gigs, depending on what you have. If you have a 2010 2010 13-inch would only go up to 8. If you get a 15 or 17 on a 2010, you could probably get 16. 2011 definitely 16, and 2012 Pre-Retina 16 that you can get. Now, there is a site that I use all the time. I use it all the time to find the specs. Whenever somebody is posting a MacBook and I'm inquiring about it, I said, send me the serial numbers, send me the SN. Now, with that, I go to a site, and let's see if I can pull that site up. I'm going to pull that site up. Okay, why did this open Scratch Live? Okay. For some reason, I accidentally opened up Scratch Live in another window. But anyway, enough of that. Let's go ahead and do a share screen. And I'm going to open up over on this side. All right, so let's share this screen right here. All right, I'm opening up a browser, and I'm going to a site called everymac.com. All right, now you can find a lot of information about not only your MacBook Pro, or any MacBook device, iPhones, iPads, whatever you're looking for. And I recommend going to this site. I'm probably going to mention it again. If you're looking to purchase a used Mac, this is the site that you want to use to find the specs before you do a meet and make that determination that you want to buy it. So what you want to do, you want to go to the tabs at the top. You want to go to lookup. When you go to lookup, all right, I'm gonna type this one in, which this is not the MacBook that I have. Somebody just gave me the box, and as you can see, I got a whole bunch of different MacBooks that I've looked up for other people. All right, so once you put the serial number in and then hit lookup, you're gonna scroll down the page and click that you're not a robot, which you shouldn't be. And then it's going to give you your information. Now, in some cases, you may have a serial number, but that serial number may have different logic boards, or you can have a different logic board that's used to it. So you may have other options, and you may have to look at other information to find out. And this is a Retina, so we don't want to look at this one. I may save this one for later. This is a Retina. The box that wait, let's look at it. Because this is interesting that this is wait, what is it? It's a late 2013. But it's not, it doesn't look like it's a Retina. And the easiest way to tell is to go to check out the optical drive, see if it has an optical drive. And this is a yeah, this is a Retina because it is kind of slim. Yeah, this is a Retina because it doesn't have any type of optical disc, or it doesn't have a DVD drive. So let's save this one for later on and pull up one that I already have saved. Let's go to this one. And I'm not going to go through the whole all the specs and details. I'll go through it later to point out what you need to look for, because I do have and this is like one that I said earlier, that you may have two different versions. Or even more. I did one earlier, well, last week, that had four different processor types, or four types of logic boards. This one has a 2.2 gigahertz i7, and then this one is a 2.3. So you need to make sure that you match up the one that you want. I'm just going to click on one. And like I said, it gives you a lot of information. It tells you the history, and then you can click on it and you can find other stuff. But this right here is a valuable asset to me when I'm looking at working on somebody's MacBook to see if they want an upgrade, if they want to upgrade something, if it can be done or if it can't be done. Because MacBook stuff changes like every other year, or every maybe once or twice a year. And I'm still learning a lot of stuff. And now I'm starting to learn more about the retinas because that's what everything is now. Everything is like a retina. Everything is integrated. But this MacBook right here is my personal choice, as you will find out later on in the podcast. So, all right, everymac.com is where you need to go to find this. So make sure that you go and check that out. Now, like I say, i7 processor. The main components that you need: i7 processor, and well, let me put it like this. When you get it, go to the everymac.com site and check to see what is the upgrades that you can do on it. And it will tell you how much RAM you can put in it. But usually with these, you can't get no more than 16. You can get the newer retinas, but you have to have them customized. You can get up to 32 in those, but you have to have them customized before you buy them. You have to place an order. You have to pre-order and put in the request as for the specs you want. But with these, you can upgrade them, and the upgrade to upgrade it is very affordable. It does not cost a lot. Now, but the first thing that you need to make sure, try to find one with the i7 processor. If you find one with an i7 processor, you and the processor are good. Everything else that I'm about to mention can be upgraded. So find one with an i7 processor. Now, the next thing that you need to know hardware wise is RAM. If you're doing a 2009 or 2010, some 2010s, at that time, they started to migrate. With those, they would come with either 2 or 4 gigs, and the max that you would be able to get is 8. But once you get, I think mid 2010, 2011, 2012, you can max it out at 16, which even now 16 is still a good amount of RAM to have, especially in a laptop, MacBook or otherwise. 16 gigs is enough. So processor, RAM. Hard drive does not matter. So if it has a 250 gig hard drive and an i7 processor, let's use a scenario here. You run across somebody that has a MacBook Pro. It has an i7 processor. It's a 2000, let's don't say 2011. You'll find out later why I say don't say 2011. Let's say it's a 2012 and it's not a retina. And the way that you can find out instantly, ask them, does it have a DVD drive? If they said no, then it's a retina. If yes, it's a pre-retina. The retinas did away with all optical drive and basically all moving parts as for that point. So that'll be the way that you can tell if you're getting the right one. But the scenario, 2012 is not a retina, and let's say it has 8 gigs of RAM. 8 gigs of RAM and a 250 gig hard drive. And they only want maybe 100, 125 for it. Let's say even with those being old, one of the issues that they have, or the reason that they're getting rid of it, is that it's a 15 inch. It's a 15 or 17 inch. Especially get those 15 or 17 inch, bigger screen, bigger work area. Your speakers are facing you as opposed to with the 13 inch. The 13 inch, the speakers are inside the hinges. The audio comes out from the hinges, which is also where the heat and stuff dissipate. But 15 and 17, the speakers are flanked to the left and the right of the keyboard. So that's an option that you want to go with. All right, so They want 125, 150. Good deal. Get it. Processor cannot be upgraded. RAM can be upgraded. You can get 60, you can get 16 gigs of RAM for, I think I paid the last time I bought some was about around $70. So let's say between 70 and $100. RAM maxed out. Doom, boom. You got that maxed out. Hard drive. Let's not. What the hard drive? If the hard drive is probably the one that you can just continuously to max out in so many different ways that you wouldn't even believe. So, all right. So, why do I keep opening now? Open up Virtual DJ. I think I'm clicking applications at the bottom of the screen, and I need to get rid of. I need to close Scratch Live too, because Scratch Live, I think I did close. Yeah, I did close it. All right, so with the hard drive, you have so many possible. Okay, I see what you're saying. Stuff is moving left and right. I don't know whether that's a camera because the camera's mounted way back there. It's probably about at least 10 feet from me, 8 to 10 feet from me. No, about more than 8, probably about 10 feet from me, and it's mounted into the door frame, or it's mounted into the studs for the door. So I don't know why I did see it kind of shift a little bit, but anyway, be all right. So the storage there's so many possibilities. Now I came up with one for myself, and whenever I'm doing an upgrade for somebody, I don't do their upgrade based on how I do my upgrade, because I only need so much amount of this, so much amount of that. But you may be somebody, you may want to have as much storage that you can get using this type of drive or this type of drive. I pick and choose how what I use as for my hardware components. And now the 2009, and not all of them, because I have, well, yeah, I think I did do all of them. My 15-inch and then my 17-inch right here are all the same configurations. And now why I say the hardware is the most important feature that you could upgrade, because a lot of people, that's one thing that you will constantly want to do in order to keep that MacBook in a current status. You don't want to have a MacBook where the hard drive fills up and you can't get stuff cleared off. So then you decided, well, I'm just going to go get a MacBook. Now, that's what you would do now with the new Retinas. The Retinas, when you fill it up, you either have to transfer it to external drives, back it up somewhere else, or just delete it. But with here, you can increase that storage. You can increase it. Now, here's the thing. And I guess now we're going to get to an overhead. And I don't have one in this. This is my 15-inch. So I don't have what I'm about to say in here, but I'm going to use this one as the example anyway. Now, my 15-inch, you may not be able to see this from that point of view, but let's see if I can get an overhead to where you can. That one may not work. Trying to find a good one. Okay, this one will probably work. And I don't know why that is doing that when it's supposed to be white. I guess what I have to do, go and turn off. All right, let me change. I need to change the setting Need to change the virtual background setting. Okay, nope, we don't need to do that. So the actual application is doing this. All right, there we go. I had to change it to blue. I'm changing to blue temporarily for this one so you can see what I got going on. Now, and let me move some of this stuff out the way. All right, so now in this one, this area right here, this is the battery. This is your logic board or your main board right here. Your processor is, I think, is right under here. You got two fans. Was this one right here? One of these fans is going bad. It's kind of loose, so it makes a lot of noise when it's rotating. I need to get them replaced. Only costs about $15. This is my hard drive. And then right here, this is where the optical drive is, or this is where the DVD, excuse me, this is where the DVD drive went. But with this particular model, you can put two drives in. You can put in two hard drives. So now this is not let's see. Okay. I want to change back to me for a second. All right, so with that option, you have so many combinations and possibilities that you can go with. Now, the first option, you can go with a standard mechanical drive. The standard mechanical drive is the drive that has moving parts in it. Now, here's the cons and here's the pros. The pros, you can get a higher storage for less money. The cons, it's more likely to fail and doesn't handle impact as much. So if you drop the MacBook and if something in the hard drive is bumped or scratched or whatever, that data is about gone. And I mean, when I mean gone, I mean gone. It only takes the right impact. And it doesn't have to be, you know, it could be a light drop, but the impact to where the heads, and imagine a record player that has needles on both sides of the record. So this is your record right here. This is your main needle, but you also have a needle under here. Now imagine that, multiply that times 2 or 4 to where you have one here, you have another one here, here, and here. So for every platter, for every spinning platter, there's a head above and below that writes data constantly. And the thing is, it doesn't write it in sequential order. It writes it at random. So if you do a scratch, if you get a scratch on it, that scratch can go across several gigs of data. So that's the downfall. The downfall is subjectable to failure more than anything else. But if you can take good care of it, you can get a lot of storage. And when I mean a lot, right now, not even checking what's the largest hard drive that you can get, and I can look that up too. The largest hard drive that I know you can get external in an external case that can go in a MacBook is about 5 terabytes, which I have a 5 terabyte external hard drive. It's not down here, but I do have one. I thought I had it over there. I may They have it over here. Yep, I do. All right. I got all mine in a Ziploc bag. So I'm trying to remember what did I pay for this. I think I paid maybe like less than 100 for it. I think $79 or $80 for a 5 terabyte drive. So I could take the drive out of here and put it in my MacBook Pro. Now, let's blow your mind a little bit on it. Let's say if I got 2 of these, I take them out and put them in my MacBook Pro. Now, what laptop do you know? And I'm sure there's probably a few gaming computers out there. What laptop do you know that has the storage inside of 10 terabytes? 2 5 terabyte drives. And see, that's the thing that just makes your mind just. Now, when I did this a few years ago, like 5 or more years ago, at that point, 2 terabytes was like the thing. And that's what I got. I got 2 terabytes. At that point, you could put 4 terabytes in there. Or maybe even, I think it was probably 4. So at that point, 8. So let's say either 4 or 8. You can double it up the amount of storage by putting a large hard drive in your main slot and then buying an external caddy, which they only cost about less than $20, and putting another drive in it, thus taking out your optical drive, which a lot of people, you don't use optical drives anyway because everything is downloadable. So unless you're playing DVDs or you're playing music from CDs or whatever, you don't need it. So use that space for extra storage. Now, along with that, I mentioned the mechanical drives. Mechanical drives more likely to fail, but you can get a lot more storage for less money. Cons and pros. Now let's move to another one. The next drive that you can get, which is the next step up from that, is the hybrids. And I think now that they've discontinued the hybrids, or I know for one thing, the price of the hybrids have skyrocketed. You was able to get, when I got my hybrid, I got mine for like I think $80 to $100. Now, if you want a hybrid, and this is a 2 terabyte, if you want a 2 terabyte fire CUDA, you're gonna spend about 250, maybe about 300 for it. Which I'm glad I got mine at that time, and I got maybe 3 or 4. I got 2 MacBooks that have 2 terabytes, and then I got a PlayStation that have one, and then I think I got one in here when I swapped out the hard drive in this lacy case. I also put in one there. So let's see. Trying to keep up with your comments, Eric. All right, let's see. Dude, in the 80s, I never thought in the world thought I would fill up a 10 megabyte hard drive and then did that regular till they came out with USB drives. Yep. I mean, storage has changed, and the thing now, everything is like doubling. It's not moving in small increments, it's moving in larger increments. It's like right now, 1080 in HD, in the HD world, 1080 60 is the normal, but now it's it's um it's 4K, and now they're moving it up to 8K. which they have some graphic qualities, some graphics between that, like what's the one between that? I think it's 6K or 5K, which is between 8 and between 4 and 8. All right, and so here's my drive right here. I pulled it out of my Lacy. Let me see if I can find out which one of those. All right, there we go. This right here, it looks like a standard hard drive, but it's not. And now if you look up Seagate Firecuda, you find out it's labeled as a SSHD. So with a SSHD, it's a combination of a standard SD. It has chips for a SD, but then it has the mechanics of a standard hard drive. So it makes it slightly faster. It's not as fast as a SSD, but it's faster than a standard drive. So that was my upgrade. And the thing was, it was more than a standard drive, less than a SSD, but I was able to get a larger capacity. So it was kind of like the advantages that I had with a regular mechanic, to where I would pay less but get more storage. But it's not as much storage as what I would have got if I would have got a mechanical. But I also upgraded because the read and write speeds are faster than a mechanic, but not as fast as an HD. So it's a combination of these two worlds. But now, like I said, these have gone up. I think 2 terabyte was, and I need to stop flickering it like that because that is not a good thing. All right, so the price of them have gone up. So if you can find one at a good price, I would say under $100, probably no more than 125, maybe. If you really want one, 150 max, then you may want to get one. All right, and then lastly, we have the standard SSDs. SSDs, no moving parts. They can handle drops better than the other drives, and the life expectancy of them is more than a standard drive and the SSHD. So you have at the top, you have SSD, then you have SSHD, which is the hybrid, and then at the bottom you have the mechanics. Now, like I said, with the mechanics, you can max out at 10 gigs. That's just me saying right now. If I Google, and let me Google. I'm a Google while I'm talking. Now, like I said, 10 terabytes is the largest that you can get that I know of, because this right here has a 5 terabyte in it. So you can put two fives in there, and you can have a 10. So if that's what you want, then you can get that. But with me, what I do a combination, and for the reason is this. For my main drive, I want it to be faster than my storage drive. I use the optical drive space for storage. So I want it to be large, but I want it to be fast and large. That's the reason that I get the SSHD. Now there's one of the computers here, and I think it's the the 2009 that has a regular 1 terabyte, a regular mechanical terabyte. Don't really use it a lot much. It's a backup. Backup. It's a backup for a backup. So that's fine. That's fine with that one. But some people may want to put their whole music collection, then have enough for music for the next year and a half. They may want to go with the 2 5 terabytes or whatever. Now, the risk in that is that if it crashes, you lost everything. So if you go that route, if you go with one of the larger hard drives, then have a backup. Get you an external or even a few externals. And I'm pulling one out, and I probably can't pull it out because it's plugged in. Nope, I can't. But anyway, I got an external over there that I use as a backup. And external has a regular 3.5 or a desktop size hard drive in it. So you want to have that backup, because if you lose those 2 5, or even if you lose 1 5 terabyte, then you lost a lot of data. All right. All right, so right now, and let me open this back up. It's saying that the Barracuda 5 terabyte is the largest, but is this? Is this the yeah, this is. And Seagate's new 5 terabyte Barracuda ST 5000 is the largest 2.5 yet. So 10 terabytes is what you can get. Now let's do Amazon, or let's find out what's the price. How much of a price? Okay, so all right, right here, Amazon. 150. So for $300, $300, you can put 10 terabytes in your MacBook. And the thing is, you want to try to partition that into separate drives, so you can back up everything differently. 5 terabytes, I would say out of that, I would take 250. That's why I use small drives. I use I don't use really for my SSD. I don't use anything larger than 240. And the reason for that is because it allows me to regulate how much space that I have. It doesn't I don't constantly download stuff and fill up that drive. With me having a smaller amount of space means that, hey, I can't do I'm not going to do a whole lot. I'm not going to add a whole lot here. I'm going to put a lot of stuff over here, either on the secondary drive or put it on the external drive. So having a smaller drive gets you into the mind that, hey, I got all this space. I'm just gonna save everything to this drive, and then all of a sudden you found out that let's say that 1 terabyte, and I no, I don't get 1 terabytes that size either. I use 1 terabytes or anything larger on storage, but you get that 1 terabyte, and then you find out that it's almost full. So then you have to get either another terabyte just for the backup, or you have to get a 2 terabyte or higher to save everything to, plus be able to add additional stuff. So by adding a smaller drive will Yep, a smaller drive will get you to the point where you will decide, hey, 250 is full. I'm gonna back up to my 1 terabyte, which 1 terabytes are really cheap. You can probably buy a 1 terabyte drive for about $50, maybe even 20 or 30 or whatever. So everything like that, you can't do that. But I mean, the thing is, you don't save 26 terabytes. Come on now. Well, I know your case is different. But you don't have everything on your MacBook internally 26. You have stuff backed up to drives. You got a record pool. So your case is completely different. You have backups to backup to backup to backups. So this is, let's say this is your MacBook. Let's say I got your MacBook fixed and you did send me a drive. And I think the drive that you sent me, I could probably put my hands on yours. All right, here we go. All right. All right, now this is Eric's. You sent me a 500 gigabyte drive, which that is probably the max. But here's what you put on that drive. On that drive, you only put your main stuff on there. Your main, which I mean everything to make it run. You put your operating system and your programs only. No data. As long as you don't save no data on it, this drive will probably never fill up. You can install 200 applications, programs, and it depends on the size of the programs. You can put 200, or you can put a lot of programs on there to enough where it takes you 2 minutes to find Word. And this would not be full. And the thing is, when you get a hard drive, you don't want it to get no more than 10% close to full. When the more you start to put on it, the slower it's going to run. So that's why I say operating system and programs. Now there is a way, and like I said, I've done my MacBooks. This is special customization that I do. I don't save data to the main drives. So that 240 gig drive that I got on there, I'm probably only using maybe 125. And that's 2 different operating systems, because I use a special system where I partition and I have 2 operating systems. Now, the partition for my second, or what I call my performance partition, I don't do no more than probably 50 gigs. 50 gigs. I don't do half. I don't do a whole lot. I want my main to stay as large, because that's going to be used for like daily stuff. And I'm probably going to add more programs onto there. But the one that I have that's 50 gigs, Serato, maybe OBS. If I'm doing a stream where I'm using that to stream the Serato to maybe my desktop or another computer or whatever I need for performance issue for that, that's what I use. So that 240 will always be open. It'll always be less to have. So if I can get this one running, it'll be set up to where you won't even use half of this. Maybe a third max is what you're going to use on this. And this is his MacBook. He has a 13-inch, and I still don't remember which one it is. I don't remember if it's a 2009 or 11 or 12. I mean, the way that you can tell, you're going to have to go and look at serial numbers. Is it still charged? I don't think it is, because I think you had a problem with the battery, right? Oh, it's charged. But like I said, if you do that, then you won't have no issues. And then you can get a large drive, whether you get a 5 terabyte like this one here, and you can't see the whole picture. Uh, okay, so whether you get this one here, and what is this? All right, there we go. So whether you get this one here or a different one, all your stuff, your data, your music, will ever be saved on that one. But if you get one where you want to max out, you want to get the largest amount of storage that you can get on there, which is 10 terabytes, 5 terabytes, then you want to break up that partition. You want to split maybe 250 or 500 gigs to operating system and programs. And then the rest of it, you could do music, but I would still do storage, which is where everything that's saved for your programs onto a different drive, because then you're working that drive even more. You're working that drive because not only it has to have the operating system to run, it has to have the programs to run, then it has to find the data. But if you break it up to where operating system programs runs on one drive, it's being accessed on one drive, and then storage, the data is pulled from another drive, that's going to make it run faster. A lot of people don't understand how that works, but like I said, it may not make sense to you, but it makes sense to me. And I've been doing this for years, and that's the way it works. It works for me like that. That's the method that I use. Uh, all right, so mention the 3 types of drives. The 3 types of drives is your standard mechanical, your hybrid or your SSHD, and your trying to click off this standard, hybrid, and SSD. And the SSD, they all have to be 2.5. These MacBooks do not use the thin chips, the chips that look like that looks like RAM. Doesn't use that. They all use the 2.5 hard drives. So that's it for storage. And that's why I say this is you can get as much as you want. Now, with also these MacBooks, you only get 2 to 3 USB ports to use. If you're using a 2000, if you're using a 13-inch or 15-inch, you only get 2 USB ports, which is not a whole lot. If you get a 17-inch, like what I have over here, you get 3 USB ports, which makes it a little bit better. But compared to Windows laptops, you usually get 3, maybe 4 USB ports without using the hub. And the thing is, you want to try not to use the hub as possible. So if you're DJing, you got to have 1 USB port for your controller or your mixer. If you're using the external drive, you got to have one for that. And then if you have something else to use, then you need a port for that too. So you kind of outsourcing all your luck. So with this option to put 5 for 10 terabytes, or whatever configuration that you want to work. Your configuration is up to you. I always leave it up to the user, whoever I'm doing the install for, as for what they want, what best fits them. And I said, okay, this is you, not me. You tell me what you want, because then you may find out that you use everything. Okay, I'm gonna answer that question in a second. You may find out that what I have may not work for you, or you may use up all that access, or you may not be able to follow my plan. You may not be able to follow the way that I use my MacBooks as for storage. Having this being accessed here, having this being accessed here. You may be like, well, I'm gonna save all my data on this drive, which is the main drive, put my music over here. I don't do it that way. I put storage, which is music and data, on the secondary drive, operating system and programs on the main. Like I said, that's the way I do it. That's the best optimizing way that I can do it. It works for me. And we'll come back up to that a little bit more. So right now, okay, let me answer your question real quick. And well, let me put my banner up so I can find out where I am. So right now, that's the upgrading hardware, closing out the upgrading hardware. And power hubs, power hubs are better than non-power hubs. Non-power hubs don't provide enough current. They provide the voltage. You get that 5 volts, but they may not provide enough current, let's say, for something like this. This is a controller. This is a Pioneer record box version. And yes, I now have a Pioneer controller. It was given to me by DJ. It's not working. I'm gonna tinker with it, but this is the only Pioneer controller that I have ever had in my possession. I'll probably own nothing else Pioneer. Pioneer controllers are not my thing. I'm a Rain Man. So anyway, like I was saying, this one doesn't use external power. It is powered by the USB port. So that 500 milliamps of current that's coming from the MacBook has to provide power here. Sometimes it's not enough. You want it to where it will provide power, but not the power from your MacBook. That's why you would use a power hub. Now, if you need to use a power hub, then use it. I'm not saying that they're not good. What I'm saying, what I want to say on that is, make sure you use a good power hub. I mean, just don't use any. Some of the name brands, or the name brand I could think of off the top of my head, it's Belkin. Belkin makes good power hubs. There's another one, Targa makes good power hubs. I got stuff by them. So make sure that you find a good power hub to use. The thing with power hubs is that you have to now plug in another power source. You have to find another outlet to plug it into, or whatever. And then if you lose that connection, then it's draining off the laptop again. But the reason that I was mentioning about power hubs is that if you have a MacBook Pro, and especially the Pre-Retina, and you're using the 2 drive slots, you're using the main drive and the secondary, which is the optical. Senti? I never heard of that one. You're gonna have to hit me up on that one. Yeah, you're gonna have to hit me up on that one. I never heard of that one before. So send me some links to that one. Let me check that one out and see how that one is. So like I say, using the optical drive, I mean not an optical drive, but power hub if you need to, but with this option, you have all your music stored on here. By having it all stored on here, you don't have to worry about trying to find a USB port. Or with these, the cables are hard to find. I got like 2 containers of these type cables that are used for this. You need some, let me know. So it's better, and I always tell people, because the thing is, you may have somebody that have a hard drive go bad. They pull out the backup. The backup is not synced to work directly. As for plug and play, they said their files are not coming up. The crates are not showing. Something's happening because it's not cloned. It's not one drive replacing another. Is one drive that's failed, and then you got another drive that's trying to change its, that's trying to work in its place, and it's not working. But if you have everything internal, you don't have to worry about all that. Your USB ports are free. All your music is there. The only thing, the downfall is that is, don't let your laptop get stolen. Don't let your laptop get damaged. And that's about it. Make sure that the laptop is safe, and make sure you back it up regularly. I mean, that's it. External stuff can always go bad. It can fall off the tables. You can lose it. It can get stolen. So I always like to have my stuff internally on the actual drives itself, as opposed to having, excuse me, external. Because this right here, I don't use this. I just bag stuff up to this, and then I put it away. That's why I have them in Ziploc bags, or I have them stored, because they're not constantly plugged in. They're only plugged in to transfer the data. Okay, everything's transferred, disconnect, put up. So this concludes hardware, and I don't know how, dang, I'm already hour 42 minutes. All right. So let's move on to the next topic. Next topic is software operating systems. With these MacBook Pros, and here is the downfall. If you're buying something new right now, most likely you can't use this with that. Not unless you use a patcher. And I think even with that patcher, I don't know if it's being updated for each operating system coming out. I'm using the patcher right now with Catalina. So right now, all my MacBooks, even my 2009, can run a S11, a S7, a S5, Rain 72, Mark 1, Mark 2. I could use a Rev 7. I could use a Rain 1. I could use everything with this one, because I used a patcher to update my operating system. So with that will be the only way. Now I also keep a separate or secondary backup operating system on here, so I can use older stuff or stuff that was used at this time. So Yosemite, I think is one. Yosemite or Maverick is what I have. So I can use Scratch Live, and I can use old outdated Apple programs. Like I think GarageBand is one of them that got outdated and that's not being used anymore. But I can use it whenever I'm using that operating system. So that's what the operating system is. And to find out what your Mac's operating system is, you would go to the Every Mac site that I listed earlier and go like it's right near the very bottom. And I think it's right above the price. It would tell you the operating system that it was originally installed with, and then it would tell you the maximum version that you can use. And like I said, if the maximum version that you want to use or that is recommended won't work with your hardware, then you're gonna have to do a patcher. And those patchers, they can be difficult. They can be very difficult to do. It took me a while to do mine, but when I did it, I did them. I did them all. I think I may have did the 15-inch first, and I did the 2009 to see if it'll work, and then I did the 17. So all of them can run anything that's out there now. Now, that's the operating system. The software is the next thing. And the software, what I mean by software specifically, I'm meaning Serato. Serato is one that for every piece of hardware that comes out, whenever a manufacturer creates a new hardware that uses Serato, they have to create a new version. So Serato may have 2.4 from 2.41 to 2.418. So every piece of hardware that comes out, they have to create drivers and where Serato can work with that. And that that's like the painstaking thing ever, because people want to, when they see a new version come out, they think that that version will help them more than just not download it. And I tell people, don't, if it doesn't concern you, don't download it, because you can run into a lot of issues. And sometimes it will do that. It will give you issues if you download something that's initially not a fix for an issue that you may have. So it's best to just stay away if you're trying to upgrade to something that doesn't concern you. Now, let me pull up Serato, and we're going to go back again to the image. And oh, that's the wrong browser. So I'm going to show you some stuff now on Serato's website that you need to remember and make note. All right, so we're going to Serato. All right, we're not going to download. Not going to download anything new, even though I probably can. There's probably some stuff that there's probably a new version that I need to download, but I'm not going to do it right now. All right, where is it? It was at the top. I don't know why I went. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to download because that's where I want to go. Now, here's some important things that you need to know before you download a version. All right, this is the version 2.5.12. So there's been 12 versions or somewhat close to that on 2.5. And 2.5 was like a minor update. Patches and stuff were done. So 2.5. This is the size of it, is 730 megabytes, which the size grows every time because something is being added. All right, so that's the right here. You want to go and check your requirements. Now, the hardware that I mentioned earlier, this is where you want to go here to see if that hardware matches it. This is the operating system that you need to run, which right now, currently, If you have a 2000 or no, if you have a Pre-Retina MacBook Pro, you can't run this because none of them by default are running into these operating systems. Now, if you put in a patcher, like the patch I got is Catalina, I can install this. Yeah, so I can install this. Now it mentions here a i3. I wouldn't do an i3. i5, i7. They never did make the i9 for the MacBook Pro, so that's not what you want to use. All right, screen resolution and memory. Memory is 4 GB, but to me, that's actually never enough because once you start running samplers, your cues, multiple lines, you start doing effects and stuff, you're gonna need more of it, more time. And so that's where you do your limitations. We'll make sure that you're running i7. i9 you probably won't have. i5 is where you want to be. I excuse me, i7 is where you want to be. And these also work. This is for mostly pre-retina. Got the M.1 and so forth. The processor, not going to get into that a whole lot. I use AMD, but with the Intel, go with the Intel 7. The processor is gonna depend on what you have. That's going to determine that. If you're using Serato video, you definitely gonna need a lot more RAM. A lot more. Let's see what else. Okay, this is the download section. This is basically telling you what you basically the manual. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're running Serato video, you're gonna need more RAM. You may also ask you for your your proposition too. And I'm running out of water. Probably gonna take a break in a second, but let me finish this up. All right. Also, here a thing that you want to pay attention to is at the bottom. Okay, there's quick start guide right here. Support and learning. Is that where it is? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's about time for me to get some more water. Yeah, it's bone dry. So, all right, operating system. You won't be able to upgrade. This is the downfall. You won't be able to upgrade unless you add a patcher. Adding the patcher right now, so far as I know, will get you up to Catalina, which looking at this version, it will put you in it will put you in a working status to where this will work. And yeah, Catalina is the last one. So probably next year, if the patches keep continuing, and if I need to upgrade to a different patcher, I will, just so I can continue using it. The main reason I do like these MacBooks is that I can upgrade them, and I don't necessarily need a Retina. I don't really use it that much DJing or music where I need to get another laptop. These right here work perfectly fine. All right, so operating system, usually you're going to end up stopping with um, High Sierra, or what's the other one? That may be it. I think that's possibly it with High Sierra that you're going to end up stopping. So you're going to have to do a patcher or something. You can get with me on learning how to do the patcher, or you can Google Mac OS patcher. Um, you have to create on a flash drive. Like I say, it's not easy. You got to have the drive with you. Yeah, you got to have the patcher on a USB drive in order to install it. But it does work. I have not experienced a lot of issues, but it does work. All right, now that was operating system. Your program, if you're using Serato, make sure that it's make sure the operating system works along with that version that you use, because otherwise you're gonna have two people slipping out on the ice. Yep. Okay, so that's it with that one. I'm going to take a pause break while I go upstairs and refresh my beverage. Let's see. Where's my banners? All right, so the next one is going to be optimizing for DVS. All right, so let me go and refill because I've drunk up all my water. Let me refill my water, and we're going to take a quick break, and I will be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Got my water refilled up. Now, before I go any further, do I have any questions? Anybody have any questions or anything on anything that I mentioned so far? Any of the three topics? Going ahead and taking the questions right now so I can answer them right now before I continue on. So the questions are on the hardware, software operating system, and now I'm about to go into, let's see, I'll watch. Okay, I guess Eric is out. So now optimizing for DVS, and with the one that's most difficult or the most problematic one is Serato. Serato uses a lot more memory than all the other DVS, Virtual DJ, Tractor, Mix, Mix Vibes, whatever that you use. Torque, if you want to go back even further, is Final Scratch. Um, it uses more RAM because there's a lot more that it does, and it's proprietary to the hardware that it connects to. Now, to optimize that, and we're gonna go back to the website. In the download area is where you can find the optimization stuff. So if you go to Serato and you go to where you're about to download, if it's still here, let's see, system requirements right here. This is where you go to do your optimization. There's optimization for PC Windows. Here's optimization for Mac, and this is the guide. If you haven't done this already, then you want to go ahead and get it done. And right here, it tells you stuff that you want to do prior to, especially doing an event or gig, especially the first time or whatever that you're using it. You're going to go through and do this. Turn off your energy saver. That's one. Turn off Wi-Fi during performances. Now, if you're using like Tidal or Beatport or something like that, something where you're relying on the internet, you have to have a good connection. And that's the thing, making sure that you have a good Wi-Fi connection. Not going to really have a whole lot of them out there that are using hardwired Ethernet. But you want to make sure that you have a good service to do whatever you're doing for that. But if you're not using any of those type of services, turn it off. All right, that's Wi-Fi for performances. Now another one is turning off file vault, file vault. Turn it off, get all the connections off, get everything where it can be seen, make it pretty, or whatever. File vault, make sure that you have that disabled. Here's the instructions on how to do that. I'm not going to go through it. You're going to pull up your You want to make sure that everything is off and ready to get uh, yeah. Make sure you go through optimizer. This is the file vault. And let's see, automatic updates. Yep, turn it. I need to learn how to, I need to do that right now. Turn that off so you won't be getting that. Disable motion sensors. Yeah. Turn off spotlight. Disable it. But I have some more customization that take it a little bit further than this. So I'm not going to leak it right here. Take a sip to keep it up because it's. All right, so who's tuning in right now? Let me see who's tuning in right now. Post in the comments and let me see who's here. All right, AdNap. Never heard of that one before. They should not require. Okay, I guess this if you got a old. This one already. Never heard AdNap, so that must be something new. But now this is I think this is the first level because they got two different levels. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna try to go through this quickly because I am getting beat. And there is a advanced version. Let's see. Should be two versions. I don't see it. Okay, that's not it. But there is a. I thought there was an advanced one. All right, so can't find that one. Maybe I'm too tired. All right. So that's DVS. State your facts. Your state your facts right there. All right. Let's see. So I thought there was that must be for Windows where there's a more advanced version. Cause I can't find it. All right, so we're gonna move on. Now, what I stated earlier, when you go to the downloads, that's where right before you download it, the download button is right there. Go down. All right, so optimizing, follow these steps. If you have Windows, but most we're talking about Mac, make sure your specs are minimum i5. I mean, they don't do i3 in Mac because it's redundant to have something like that. So so for this point right here, um, use what Serato mentioned because it may affect what you're doing more than what it is here. All right, so off the optimization, go to Serato, disable Bluetooth, disable speaker or audio. All right, yeah, they don't have an advanced one. I thought they did. They did have an advanced one time. let's go back. So to keep up, do whatever Serato tells you. Use that as your optimization, because the optimization that I use special is just for the MacBook in general and not mostly for Serato, but it can be used. But I'm gonna go in that later. I just want to show you that Serato for uh, to optimize it, they have settings, they have recommendations, and I don't think I have did those on any of my MacBooks, or I haven't in a while. So when I power this one up in a while, I'm gonna go through and do the settings. It'll probably make it run a little bit fast. Excuse me, a little bit faster and smoother. So make sure that you go with those steps. All right, let's move on. Moving on to the next one. Um, okay, how did I do this? Okay, moving on to the next one. This is my own personal optimizing technique. Now, I do have a video that I've done, and I've did this live. I did it live. I did the full install live, so you get to see how to do this if you want to do it yourself, or if you want it done for a fee, I can do it for you. So the step that I call, and I had to give it a name that can be catchy and that people will understand. So it's called hashtag super DJ hero, or I think one time I used superhero. Right. Yeah. Either DJ superhero or superhero hashtag in front of it. And then also slash, which separate. The hashtag will be easier to find. Slash performance in all caps, performance dual boot. Now, it's as easy as this. I have two drives in here. Let's say, let's go back to the overhead cam again. Why is this doing this? All right, so let's go back to that camera. Yes, not that one. This one. All right, let's take this one. This is my main drive right here, SSD. This is my secondary drive. Let's say is right here. That's my storage. Now I have 2 terabytes, which I can do this as an even split of 1 terabyte storage for this, where all the data is saved onto here, and the other terabyte is for music, or you can split it up however that you want. I mean, I change mine based on what more storage that I need. I think I did it recently, but I couldn't get my storage to increase, so I had to create 2 different storages, which that's fine. It's a little bit extra, but I know where stuff is, and it works out because I didn't add a whole lot more music, and I still had space for it. All right, so main drive, I'm gonna have 2 operating systems on here. my main drive or the main boot is um, High Sierra. High Sierra is the main boot. The secondary is Catalina. Now that High Sierra, I can use anything back to Scratch Live on that. So I can still use all my old legacy programs. I can run regular programs and everything on there, and it works. I just can't use a lot of new stuff. So whenever I need to run my 57, not excuse me, not 57, but my 72 mixer and my Rain 12, I would reboot and go to the other partition. The other partition opens up as like a brand new computer. I don't, like I said, I don't put a whole lot on it. I just have it to where it's working only for that purpose. And that's how I do it. If you need more information on that, like I said, I got a video. I got a video explaining it where I did it live from beginning to end. In case you want to try to do it yourself. I think the only thing that I didn't do, I didn't set the main drive to where the data was being read off here. So that's one thing that you have to do. That there's a couple extra steps more, and you have to go into settings and some of the other features in order to find it. I kind of wish that um, when I was going through that step, that it was done to um, where everything was in sync and on time. So, like I say, main drive, two operating systems, High Sierra main, performance. The performance drive is Catalina, which means I can run anything newer on that. If I want to run older, I go back to the High Sierra. I can run Scratch Live. I can run Serato DJ, not Serato DJ Pro, but Serato DJ. A lot of the older stuff that won't run with the newer drive. So that's what I got. That's what I got from that, and that's how um, the the name. The reason why I came up with superhero is because your main drive, your main drive is your Bruce Wayne, your Clark Kent, your Peter Parker, uh, whoever is that drive. It's your average drive that you use for doing average stuff, basic stuff, or whatever. Now, when you're ready to do performance mode, when you go into performance, your drive is more like Spider Man, um, Batman, Superman. You're going into superhero mode. You're going into performance mode. As they mentioned one time, went they went into beast mode, or not beast mode, but went into a higher mode music. It didn't change the music or anything. It's just that something people wasn't used to seeing. And the way I run that, it runs a type ship to where uh, mm, it works a lot better that way for me. And like I said, there's more tweaking and customization that you would have to use. So I will get back. Yeah, I will uh, break it up and pour it. So yeah, break it down and make it so everything is saved to yeah. I mean, there can be issues, but if you follow everything to the T, won't be no issues. You don't have to really worry about it. So that is my own optimizing personal. If you want to see it done live, you can go check out the like that. I mean, it's big and bulky. But to cool off, it does the right job. All right, what's the next? All right, so what's the next step? Next step that I got. Let's see. All right. Optimizing techniques. My personal one, hashtag DJ superhero or hashtag superhero. Performance dual boot. And the performance dual boot is the secondary. You use the option key to switch back and forth between that one. Let me go back to myself, or wait a minute. Hold on. Let's boot to it. Show you how we boot. Can't use this one because it's missing a drive. Uh, let's do the 17. All right, so the screen that you're about to see, if you can see it, this is Catalina. Type in a password. All right, this is my Serato that I have open already. Close. Okay. I also have I was trying to do something with my iTunes or Apple Music. I go ahead and close that. I'll do it again later. Close OBS. Need to manually close stuff because force close it. All right, now this is a 2011 17 inch. And what you're looking at now, you're looking at me, I'm running Catalina. And to prove it, there it is right there, Catalina. And it says too early 17 inch 2011. I'm not sure that you can see it, but that's what it says right there. 16 gigs of RAM, 1600 megahertz DDR3. Startup disk is called Performance. And then it has graphics card and my serial number. So now I'm going to restart. All right, now when I get ready to restart, I hold down the Option key. As you see, I'm holding down the Option key when it gets ready to restart. And I don't know what you can see. I got 4 different icons. Now, the first one is Studio, which is my main, which is what I call my main. Yours may be called Macintosh HD or whatever it is that you want to name it, or whatever that is named. Mine's is Studio. The next one is an EFI boot. The EFI is a recovery boot for Studio. Then I have Performance. Performance is what you just saw me leave. I'm gonna go back to Performance so you see how I boot up in it. And then the last one I have is Music. There's no hard drive on it. If I try to boot to it, it won't do anything. But that's the partition, or that's the 2 terabyte FireCuda, Seagate FireCuda drive that I have in here on it. So now I'm just gonna go to Basic Studio. All right, so this is my main drive. Main drive. I'm about to boot into it. Type my password. And now, so I'm booting into my main. This is where all my daily and normal stuff that I use. And this should be High Sierra that I'm using here. So everything that I had open previously is opening up now. And as you can see, it's a different laptop. Okay. Browser is opening up. Okay, and you may not be able to see it. I'm looking on screen now. This is not showing. Why is it showing the green screen? Okay, now that's even worse. Okay, there we go. Case that you couldn't see it earlier, I didn't know that it was doing that because I was looking at a different screen. But there it is right there, showing my Instagram. And let's minimize Chrome. Close this. All right. And I have Machine open when I was on vacation. All right, let's see if I can open Scratch Live. So this is where I can run old legacy programs like Scratch Live. I can hook up my SL1 box. I can hook up my Rain 57, SL3, whatever. Still loading up because I haven't used it in a while. It's loading up all the music on the hard drive. Anyway, I guess you see the legit. Now, also all my programs, and like I said, this is my main. These are not all my programs that you see at the bottom. These are not all of them. All right, you can see Serato Video, Scratch Live, Serato DJ 1.96. Didn't mean to open this up. This is three-dimensional design program. Close it. All right, Scratch Live is finally up. Serato DJ 1.96 that I'll probably use with like NS7 or any of my other older Serato DJ programs. And then Pro, I have 2.34, 2.46, and 2.59. 2.59 is not the closest. Then I got Mix, Scratch Visualizer, Machine, a lot of other stuff. But for a visual look for all the programs, this is what, oh, dang. All right, so can't get it to come back up now. All right, go to Launchpad. Now you can see all the programs. And then, oh, yeah, I didn't go the right way. All right, go back to it again. All right, and go. I keep doing that. All right, and why can I go to the next tab? All right, close Scratch Live. All right, there we go. Now, shit. Second one, there's more. So I got a lot of programs. A lot of programs. Now let's go back, reboot, and go back to performance. Choose restart. Because then if I choose restart, everything is going to open up as I had left it previously. All right, so there's go. It's shut down. Hold it down. Key. And I got the wrong. All right, so I can actually let it go. there again, we've got the same 4 icons: studio, EFI boot, performance, music. So now I'm going into performance. All right, so we're gonna be wrapping up in just a few minutes, guys. This is actually about it. And so what I'm gonna be sharing next is just some little extra tips. Logging in, and that's Catalina. And there it is. I'm in Catalina. Now let's go to Launchpad again. And you see that I don't have no more than just the basics. Now I will go through here and actually remove a lot of this stuff if I can, but I don't bother doing that. And as you see, the ones that I have Serato DJ 2.5, 2.57. Then I got a scratch visualizer, which shows the waveforms as for TTM scratching, OBS, and that's about it. That's all that I use here. And so this runs nice, cool, and clean because I don't have a lot of stuff on here that's bogging it down. Nothing running in the background. Oh yeah, don't use internet, don't use Bluetooth, even though I have it on now because I was trying to do something with Apple Music. Other than that, I disconnect those off to make sure that I don't run into those issues. All right, so that's about it. As for that, case closed. All right, let's go back. Get my cursor over there. All right, now back to my main screen. And what's my next? All right. Here's my tips on how to buy and search, inspect for used MacBook Pro. Now, as I mentioned before, make sure you have bookmarked the everymac.com site. That'll help you out trying to find out information that even the owner doesn't even know about that you may want.